Hello Broducers, it's Özgün here. In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how we made the Journey of Life track with my brothers Long Play and Raptor. So the track is really old, we probably finished the track like the last year, but the releases just happened so suddenly. We thought it's going to be released on February, but the label thinks the October is best. When the track was released, I was at Amsterdam for ADA, so I couldn't make a properly promotion for the track, but still thanks for all the interest, all the support, all the share for the track. And today I like to show you how we made the track. Gonna explain everything in detail, and if you're ready, let's get into the tutorial. So this is the track. Because this is a collaboration, I have tons of stamps in here, but still I can be able to show you tons of stuff inside of this stamp project. So maybe we can start with listening the first drop. So as you see, it's starting with an LFO downer, kind of FX sound, and this sound is also the drop lead itself. So if you check, it sounds like that. All I did is just having the stamps and just putting some reverb automation so I can fill the gaps with it. But if we check the processing, I have just a low cut because it was a stem itself. I have this intensity VST. It's just shaping the sound a little bit, giving it some color, some little EQ. And also I have suit because there was tons of resonating frequencies and suit is easy way to fix that problems. I have delay and reverb like that, but the delay and reverb gets triggered by the peak controller. You already know this technique. And when the lead is playing, the delay and reverb is ducking itself. After the delay and reverb, I'm putting the isotope trash to give it a little bit more distortion and also glue everything. One more EQ, one stereo imaging, and this limiter is just to prevent if the lead is get clipped, and the lead is routing one last channel, and in here there's only automation. So this was a dry synth sound. I just processed it and fit to the mix down. Maybe we can take a look of the drop kick and bass, the drop low end. So this is the channels we have. We have a top kick. So there's literally no processing going on, and I just grouped the kicks, top kick with the main kick with a separate individual group, and in here I just give tons of high frequencies to get a little bit bigger click on the kick. So this was the main kick. The only processing is just boosting the fundamental notes several dBs, not more than 2 dB. Because as you see in the waveform, this main kick doesn't have a proper click, and to get some nice clicky standout kick, I needed to layer it with a top kick. So both of them sounds like this together, and we are routing the kick to another kick group. This was a hell of a processing. And in here, I'm doing more coloring. Now I'm just making the coloring affecting both top kick and the main kick. We have the saturation, we have more saturation, and we have some EQ, which just boosts the 300 Hz area a little bit to give a little bit bigger punch. And I think that's all. Now the kick is routing to another channel, but we will get there because this final group contains both kick and the both bass. And let's see what else do we have. We have this kick, just to give some texture. Again, no processing at all. This is not used. And yet, the kick contains 3 layers. Maybe we can play it. Then we can go to the bass. Punch texture kick is just making the kick more unique. So this is the main bass line. We have 2 layers of bass. One is this. And one is this. So I generate the low end, the rumble from my plugin, and then I give it some overdrive, and I made the low end totally mono and also cut the high frequencies. Then just sidechain it with a really tight curve. On top of it, we have the rolling bass. So I made it fully mono, and there's one sidechain like that. And one more sidechain to make it really tight. Full low end sounds like that. So it's really groovy and it's really fast. That's why I really like the groove of this track. And as you see, all the bass and the kick layers are routing to one channel. And in there, I just boost all the low end. I just give a little bit top end, which affecting both kick and bass. I have a filter, I have some volume automation and nothing else. In the second drop, we have a little bit different kick layers and bass layer, but we will get to that later. So we can check maybe the second lead now, because in the second part of the first drop, we are introducing a new lead to keep the things more interesting. And as you see, the second lead also routing to the same lead group. So I'm just processing them inside of the same group, but individually they have their different channels, so I have more freedom, more control on them. The second lead only has a camel crusher and a low cut, that's all. And other than that, we have several synth sounds, just making some ear candies. And we have several drums. Maybe I can show them while we are playing the low end. Those were the drums, and maybe I can now show you the full synth work of the background, because as you see, the lead is so simple, it's just hitting one note all the time. If you like to make the drop interesting, you need tons of background synths to keep it interesting in time. We have a step. And we have some synth shots. So you probably don't hear all of them, but they are adding tons of to the overall vibe. If you even push them to the background, maybe the audience going to realize the sound, maybe in fifth listen of the track. That's why we like to hide several sounds to the background, and like maybe you don't hear it obviously, but it's there and it's adding, it's doing its job. And other than that, maybe I can show you the sweeps. They are just basic sounds. And other than that, we have several more ear candies like that, some field stuff. And other than that, we have nothing else in the first drop, and we have some fill vocal, sounds like that.
What you see is what you get.
Again, they are all stems. They are made by the Raptor and the long play. All I did was balancing and fitting them inside of the track. So let's go to the first break.
Everyone we meet is a fellow traveler in the journey of life.
So I totally love the future rave part of this track. And actually, I just made the future Rave lead with only one preset. That was a serum sound. And it's, as I remember, yeah, it's from Evolution of Sound. A beautiful lead. Back then, I used tons of serum presets from their future Rave pack. So we have several automations for them, as you see, to keep the things interesting. I'm always automating the macros inside of the synth. So if we check the processing of them, we have the Fruity Peak controller. Probably I use it for automation purposes. We have a DST from Matt Nash, just giving some distortion and also at the same time coloring the stuff. Again, the intensity VST, I was using this plugin a lot back then. It's just for adding color. I have a low cut. So this stage 1 is a stereo imaging plugin. I saw it was Medix was using that, so I'm using it on my several projects as well. And we have the Serum FX in here. Like I think the one of the best reverbs fitting to the future Rave sound is from Serum itself. So I just use the Serum FX as a separate VST. And I'm using the delay reverb from the VST itself. And as I see, yeah, this VST is triggered by the peak controller in here, but it looks like it's not activated. Probably in the end, I decided not to give sidechain reverb. But if you like, yeah, if you push it like that, you can clearly see in the mixer, it could duck down. But yeah, in the end, I just decided to not use it, it seems. Without sidechaining, I just like to give it full delay and reverb. And let's see, yeah, there's nothing else for the lead. There's only one layer. But in the background, as you see, I have tons of stamps. For example, we have starting the break with this beautiful vocals.
Everyone we meet is a fellow traveler in the journey of life.
So I have nothing special on the vocals as well. Mag EQ to give some top end to the vocal. I'm just cutting the low end, some OTT, some delay, and yes, some clipping to boost the vocals as much as I can do. So we have the background vocals, the reverse vocals as well to keep it more full.
Everyone we meet is a fellow traveler in the journey of life.
And the delay itself is so huge and taking so much time in the feedback, and it's just occupying and covering the introducing part of the break section. So this should be our break bass. So it has tons of energy in it, but if you layer it with those beautiful pads, the whole break atmosphere is becoming so much bigger. And this is the main release bass. And on top of it, we have the pads, we have the choirs, we have the strings. And in there, when we are going to the bridge section before the second build-up, we have this pitch down FX on the break lead, and it's adding so much to that feeling transition part. And yeah, we have some fill sounds in there.
Everyone we meet is a fellow traveler in the journey of life.
So the build-up is kind of more EDM than the first build-up. We are introducing some snares in here. And layering it with the claps. As you see, we have tons of FX, risers, sweep ups, sweep downs, several claps, snare build-ups, and everything together is just giving this build-up so much power. And also we are still having the brass sound and the bass sound from the bridge section. And also, as you see, I have the endless smile automation in the build-up. It's just giving a washout FX. And also I'm lowering the volume, making the stereo field a little bit narrow by just automating this stereo enhancer. And there's nothing else actually for the build-up automations. We can go to the second drop because we have a little bit different low end. So let me activate them. Yeah, the extra kick was this. Kinda a hard style top kick, a rough style maybe. Because we like to make the second drop a little bit more EDM, maybe more hard style vibes. Since the track is 155 BPM, it's really fast track. So this is the sub we use. Let me check if it's the same. No, it's a different sub bass that we use in the first drop. It's more like the offbeat sub. On top of it, we have this psytrance bassline. So it's just a sidechain and the cutting from the sub frequencies. So we have much more space for the rest of the elements and it's not clashing with the actual sub bass. So the low end sounds like this. And in the second part of second drop, we are switching the leads from a percussive lead from the synthesizer, you know? And it's just adding a really nice contrast between two parts of the second drop. So all I did was adding some distortion and more stereo imaging and some little coloring to the sound. The sound was already pretty big. And let me check if we're missing something. Other than that, just we have some background stuff and some bass plugs. And yeah, with the background elements, most of them is the same as the first drop. So we are just bringing a nice twist for the second drop and just changing the vibe a little bit. And let's check the outro because I think I forget to show you these little textures that was playing in the first drop as well. So it's just a texture, rhythmic texture, and adding so much to the main groove of the track. And again, another texture sound to keep the things interesting and add some character. So other than that, before I finish the video, I have my own mastering chain in the track, but the label just want to do their own mastering. I personally prefer our own version, but I think the label got some standards, so they just wanted to make the mastering themselves. For the release track, I don't like how the basses are a little bit boosted than my version. So that's why still it's not on the final release, but before I end the video, I can show you my own mastering chain on the track. Because yeah, all the respect to the label, but I still prefer my own chain because the color was a little bit more decent in this version, in my opinion. So in my version of mastering, I cut the low frequencies only for sides, so I'm making 100% sure my low end is going to be mono. And the track was kind of clipping, that's why in the output, I just lowered the volume until it doesn't clip. Then I put this Brainworks equalizer, and in here I just give some stereo width. It's not even hearable, but it's just maybe giving some a little bit more taste. And I have a bass compressor in here. It's just kind of like the glue compressor. I'm not compressing more than 4 dBs. Even like 3 dB, 2 dB of compression just to make everything a little bit glued together. And other than that, I have this EQ, just giving some 4K and giving some 8K, just coloring and making the track more clear, more presence. And another EQ, this time I'm boosting the low frequencies like 60 Hz, just maybe 1 dB, just a little bit, and also the 12K. So it gives more top end to the track. It's already a preset, but probably like tweak the numbers. And other than that, let's activate this clipper. So as you see in the clipper, I'm just giving some volume boost. I'm using the clipper as my main maximizer. And that's all. This limiter just doesn't do anything. It's here just in case. Yeah, this is my mastering chain. It's like 1 year old mastering chain, but I still use kinda approximately like similar to this chain, and it's working all of my tracks. But yeah, just don't forget the release track doesn't contain this chain. The label wants unmastered version and they just did their own mastering. So yeah, but still I like to show what my mastering chain look like. Because on the last walkthrough tracks that I show, I just forget to show the mastering chain. And this is like the same with most of my previous tracks. So yeah guys, this is how we made Journey of Life with Longplay and Raptor. I hope you can apply this to your own productions too. Today that was it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye bye.